Hey guys, welcome to TypeByte. If you are new here, this is your first time, let me introduce you that I'm a senior software engineer working remotely, and most of the days I work from my home setup. Over the last few years, I have been really lucky to grow pretty quickly in tech and move to the senior role within just 2 years working, and I've worked on a lot of projects, handled a lot of system, collaborating with different teams, and learned a lot along the way. This channel is really not about showing the perfect life of software engineer or engineering, knowing that I have everything figured out. This channel is more like me documenting the journey and sharing it with you, because there is still a lot to explore and figure out, because I really want to show you what actually happens behind the scene of software engineering, the work, the tools, the mistakes, and the whole process. Everything I share here is based on my real experience, since I worked on both on-site jobs and remote, handled different projects, so there's everything you're going to be seeing will be all real. And before we continue, you probably would have noticed something already, that my face is blurred, and there is one reason for that. Is I'm really new into this. My major career has been creating softwares and being behind on the screen, so I really want to understand what kind of audience I have, because there is a lot of education content now move towards the entertainment, and I really want to understand the people does actually stick for the value or for just the entertainment, edits, personality, what type of stuff. So we will be revealing my identity, my face, where I do work, and everything when I reach about 10k to 50k subscribers. So make sure you tune in and subscribe that. So now coming back to the main idea of the video, is let me tell you why I'm starting to document this. I've actually tried YouTube multiple times before, and if you scroll down, there will be a lot of videos you probably would find, but honestly none of them actually satisfied me than this one, because this one I feel like I'm really talking to you about my journey. So as you already know, I've reached to the senior software engineering position, and my main focus throughout my career up till now was getting promotion at my job, and I did achieve that, which is I'm really proud of. But I realized something important along the way, especially in 2026. It is really important. Growing in your career is not the same as growing inside your job. Getting promotion is great, really awesome, you learn a lot of stuff, but the original goal should never be lost. For me, when I take it back to university, my main goal was very simple. It was to just create something of my own, and it wasn't because I really want to replace my job or I want to be the next solo founder, but because I really enjoy building, and I really wanted something that I can take decisions of, people would actually use, actually that solves a big problem as well. And I've tried that a lot of time before when I was at job or university, and most of the time it resulted that my GitHub was 80% of the repositories were unfinished, because the idea I used to pick was just me randomly thinking something and thinking that this could be the best and used by a lot of people, and meanwhile I just lose the interest in that. Now this time it actually made me think where I was wrong. Over the last 3 or 4 months, especially when I started creating content on Instagram and we grew to around 17k followers, I've kept thinking more about this seriously and realized where was the problem. Why did I lose finishing those projects? And maybe the problem was not in me, it was the ideas I picked. So I just need one approach that is really simple, is to start observing my own life closely. From morning to night, everything I do, I'm going to document it for my own, because the real way to solve the problem is first to remove repetition. So I'm going to point it out, where are the repetition in my life, so I can solve that. And that's what automation does. So I start noting everything down, how I work, how I take meetings, how I record things, how I document, how I write, how I update statuses, how I manage my tasks, update stakeholders, talk to project manager. And after observing all of that, I realized something very important. The biggest factor in my growth, especially reaching to the senior level in 2 years, was communication, not coding. Because coding again can be done by AI. You are consistently communicating with stakeholders, project managers, CEO, all big guys, and you're explaining your work, giving your updates, writing documentation, making sure people actually understand what you're trying to type. And if your communication is not clear, you're never going to succeed at your job, especially in remote work. And because in remote environment, sometimes I'm at my desk, sometimes I'm not. So some of the time the team is online and I am away from the desk. So the communication is never stops. It is usually done through Slack messages, Jira comments, updates, documentation, Google Sheets, all these type of stuff. And I noticed a big pattern in myself. I was consistently opening ChatGPT, giving it context, would copy and paste and ask it to sound professional, write a reply and everything, and just do it all over again whenever I'm on phone and writing a reply to these senior people. And I think a lot of people do this, but most of the people just don't talk about it. So I decided instead of ignoring it, I should try to fix it myself. I start building a simple solution in my own workflow and testing it on myself first. So that's how the idea got started. So if you really want to start an idea, look for your own life. You probably would find a loophole there. Coming to the major point is I've got the idea. How will I turn this idea into a reality? So far in my career, I mainly worked on the backend development, and that's what I know the best. But this time, I knew this couldn't just stay as an idea on paper, and this could not be solved by just the backend, because this solving the typing on phone requires an phone app, which is I've never done before. But I started building it because with the AI tools becoming so strong now, I decided to experiment it because this is the best time to create through AI now. So I went to Crowd Pro plan subscription for the first time. Before that, I was using different tool. I started designing things on Figma. I started shaping the actual product will be like, all the requirements, narrowing down the whole scope of the problem to just one solution, because the solution should not be complicated, guys. The whole idea of the application was it just should be invisible. You shouldn't feel like you're switching apps and breaking your flow. So whatever the host application you're in, for example Slack, you want to write, rewrite, create a new message, it just should happen right away where you are already working, inside your phone keyboard. That was the core idea. No more switching between and copy pasting between ChatGPT. Now, while building this, I realized there's a lot of restrictions from Apple. There are so many restrictions in the normal keyboard, and Apple doesn't allow a lot of third-party keyboards to allow a couple of permissions. At the same time, there's a lot of I wish keyboard could actually do. So I started building around this gap. It took me around 2.5 weeks to get the first working version, absolutely fine, which I can use. Called it TypeByte. I built a simple demo, posted out on Reddit and Instagram, and honestly, around 100 people actually gave a thumbs up. That was the moment I realized that this might actually be solving a problem for a lot of people. Even though it's not a fully finished product, I've already been using it for a week now in my own workflow, and I can keep improving it every day. And at its core, it is very simple. It's an iOS keyboard powered by AI, but the difference that it now knows the context about you. It understands how you write, it adapts to your style, however you write it, and whether you're just a developer, a manager, a salesperson, a junior, senior, expert level, it takes those information and rewrite and write messages accordingly. I can type something like, tell project manager, team, finish the task and everything is fine, and it rewrites it properly in a professional tone. Do not feeling like typing at all, you can just speak to the keyboard straight up, and it's not dictation. You can speak, it understands your context, it understands about you, and generate a message. Write a message to the employee that I will be late today, start the ticket work and update me. And you can even translate between languages as well. So anything you can speak in Chinese and ask him to write a message in English. So instead of just leaving the application, you can all do within the keyboard. And sometimes we are in the host application, we want to search Google. So now instead of leaving the application, you can just search and get answers instantly as well. No switching, no context loss, no time wastage. But now I'm still improving it. A lot of stuff is happening in the background, refining, testing, and trying to make it more stable. And the announcement is simple. I am opening the waitlist. Right now we already have 110 people already sign up for waitlist. If we hit 250 people, I'll move forward with the full App Store setup and publishing process. So I'll also document that entire journey as well, because it will be my first time shipping a real application to the App Store. So I will tell you all the plans, how it gets approved and everything. So if you are interested in the app, join the waitlist, or if you are interested in the journey, subscribe now. Since then, I have not switched to iOS default keyboard. I've been using TypeByte. So until then, I'll keep building and sharing updates here and on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Make sure your status code is 200. Also, editing these videos is really tough, man. I have been speaking for around 2 hours now, and I hope this time it gets right.